Welcome to the Aunty Donna podcast, powered by the Aunty Donna Club, which is also powered by Patreon. Get more content there. Today's very special guest, a star of movie magic. We'll keep it a secret. Enjoy the episode.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Do you believe they put a man on the moon?
A man on the moon.
Do you believe they put a man on the moon?
A man on the moon.
And welcome to Inside Hollywood on Hollywood, a movie show.
We're here. We're talking about Hollywood with experts in the Hollywood field.
This is huge for us. I would say Weird Al is the only other guest who's probably as big as this. But Weird Al was only one person. This is two.
Bert Krishna.
Yeah, we didn't get him.
No, but you were Bert. And so in a way, over 100,000 people were Bert.
In that way, that was bigger. Thanks a lot, Mark. You've ruined the hype.
What?
It was better to have 100,000 Bert Kreischers than it was to have these two.
But
guests.
more people have seen, Goodfellas than have listened to our podcast. More people have seen Memento than have listened to our podcast.
And it's a good way to segue because we have today returning for their second visit to the Aunty Donna podcast. Last time you were away.
I refused to be here.
You were away by Michael Gow. And
Yes, I was.
you missed out on, it was awkward because that day we were joined by one of the great film directors of movies.
Of films. Yeah, like I can't think of a movie director that's done films as good as this one.
Absolutely. You would know them from Killers of the Flower Moon. You would know them from their work as the director of The Last Movie Stars, where he was an executive producer. You would know him from...
Gangs of New York.
You would know them...
Acknowledge Gangs of New York as one of their films,
I won't,
please.
because
Why?
then they win. The gangs win.
He's right. The gangs do win if we acknowledge it.
You would know them
Taxi Driver.
No, Uber's fine.
No. What do you know any of?
You would know them as the director of The Irishman, the Netflix classic, which de-aged some of Australia's favorite
Some of
actors.
Australia's favorite actors, including Robert De Niro,
and one episode of the hit series Vinyl from 2016.
Yes,
Please welcome
Marty.
Do you mind if we call you Marty?
Oh, please, bro, then call me Marty. You know, all my mates call me Marty.
Marty Scorsese, thank you for joining us.
Wow, my pleasure to be here. And I would say I'm going to extend a thank you to you guys for saying such lovely things about my work. I'm really proud of a lot of the movies I've made and some of the TV shows I've directed episodes of.
What other than Vinyl? What's another TV show episode you've done that
I
you're
directed
proud
the
of?
pilot to Boardwalk Empire.
Correct.
Really?
Starring my friend Steve Buscemi, of course. He worked with me on a short film I made in an anthology of films called New York Stories. I work with my buddies Francis Ford Coppola.
And his nephew.
His nephew's there too.
No, you worked with his nephew.
Yeah, of course. Nicolas Cage.
In
Bringing Out the Dead, mate.
There it is.
Bringing Out the Dead.
The
and
ambulance
at the time,
film.
His wife, Patricia Arquette, they were married at the time
Yes,
when we
they
made
were.
that. So, steamy set. Very steamy set.
Now, of course, we have joining with us, as well as Martin Scorsese, a maker of, would you say movies?
Films and movies.
Films and movies.
I
and
would refer to this filmmaker as a dream weaver.
He is, Yes. Loves, in my opinion, this is my opinion of this filmmaker's movies, but I can't wait to ask them about it. Most films feature the twist, "It was me" at the end. And I can go
Doodlebug?
through that. Doodlebug.
Following,
of course, first independent film, made himself, shot it over weekends, I believe. Yeah. Over a year.
Doodlebug.
Doodlebug.
They made Doodlebug. That was their short in 97.
Please. I would say someone who grew up with the films of Martin Scorsese, but has
thank
now
you.
become a contemporary.
Yeah, we both worked at Netflix at the same time.
Did you?
Yeah, I was making The Irishman. You guys were making big old house of fun.
Oh,
just
no.
down the
No,
corridor.
we're talking about Christopher Nolan.
Oh no, I thought of you as my contemporary. Christopher Nolan, I think he's a young upstart.
Marty, firstly, we're talking about the Nolan upstart thing. That means so much to me.
Really? Yeah, that's huge.
You know, I
Marty-
think of you as you are my guys. I would love to work adjacent to you guys again. one
Really?
day. Absolutely.
Not with, adjacent to.
Adjacent to, maybe I can produce a movie for you. Can executive produce a film for you one day? I would love to be. I love executive producing films.
Really?
Yeah.
Name some of the films you've EP'd.
Pieces of Her. That's a lovely movie. Have you seen The Souvenir?
No.
I produced the Souvenir films. Yes, I use.
There's
my
more than
clout.
one?
Well, there's two. The Souvenir Part 1 and Part 2.
Right.
Of course.
Of course. I haven't seen them. I didn't know this.
They're wonderful movies.
What are they about?
About a lady going to film school. She goes to film school. She learns the craft of cinema. And when I saw this in the pitch package that came to me, they sent me a pitch deck.
Email?
I'm going through the deck via email. I'm scared of emails, but someone else read it out to me out loud. And I'm looking at it. I'm listening intently and I go, this is interesting. I've shared some of these life experiences of going to film school, learning the craft of cinema. And I could relate to it. And I thought, what is the silver screen but a reflective surface to show your own stories back unto you?
So you EP'd it.
So I go, put my EP credit on this one, bucko. We're going to Hollywood. Even though it's a European film, but we're going to put it in Hollywood cinemas too.
Film is important for movies, and
Well, without it, where would we be?
Wow.
Without film,
I think that's
we would have had to wait until digital. And that was too long of a wait. in my
And I'll
opinion.
tell you this, I'm an old
Do you
man. I
understand?
did not have the patience for that.
Well, and I know I don't even want to. Please, can we not bring up the Marvel Cinematic Universe? I can already feel him.
Oh, you hear that? You hear that?
I can
grunt?
already feel things getting crazy. They've been likened to the Luna Park of cinema.
And I think it's a great place to start with our other guest, someone who reinvented the comic book genre.
Yes.
Oh, Marty, you are mad. Mad Marty. Mad Marty.
Mad Marty Martin.
Please welcome the director of Batman and Doodlebug, Christopher Nolan.
Hello, how are you today? Thank you so much
So
for
good.
having me.
And you're wearing.
I don't like CGI.
Yes. Yeah.
No,
well,
no,
I mean,
no.
use it. Use it a little bit.
When
but
you must.
I don't like
yeah,
it.
when you must.
I don't
yeah.
like it at all.
Like you took out
I
the
wear a
poles.
suit. I wear a suit and I don't like CGI.
As is my understanding, you use CGI mostly to get rid of poles.
Yeah, because I don't like CGI. I don't think it's very good, and I wear a suit to work.
Yes, you do.
Yeah.
I must say, we already have a fiery discussion here. I think CGI can be used to extend what I already deeply held within film. Say you've got a wonderful actor, one of Australia's favourites, Robert De Niro.
Al Pacino.
Al Pacino, two of the
Sure,
great actors.
Mr. Pesci.
Joe. I
Yeah.
call him Joe. I call him Joe.
I
We're
imagine
close.
you'd have that kind of working
we
relationship.
have a certain
with him, yeah.
rapport, Joe and I.
Yeah.
These are some of the elite Italo actors the world has ever birthed. And if you're making a film that is to speak to generations of gangster films, an epitaph for my life and my career, I want my boys in there the whole time. I don't want some young Shia LaBeouf coming in here playing a young version of old Joe, and CGI allowed me the opportunity to work with my friends for a few months without getting little guys in the whole
You
time.
could
It
have done
looked
that.
weird.
You could have done that with makeup, though, couldn't you? Because I don't like CGI at all. Yeah.
Okay, you could do that with makeup. You
Yeah.
could
This
do
is-
that. What are you going to do? Paint a clown face on him? What is he, a clown? Is he supposed to amuse you? Like Mr. Joker himself, your favorite guy?
Jared Leto.
Yeah, I did Joker in my movie. I don't like CGI, and I wear a suit to work.
Yes, you
Now,
do.
well, I'm starting to feel...
And I wear Versace jeans, mate. So,
Yeah, well, I wear a suit to work. I
Do
wear
you
a big
really?
coat.
yeah,
This-
Marty, I do. I
this
do.
is-
I
this
wear
is-
Versace jeans.
Wow.
This is simply a forum for discussion here between two masters of their craft, Mark,
Sure,
Yes.
in Christopher Nolan,
Yeah,
who we've
hi.
learnt so far, wears a suit to work, doesn't like CGI.
No, I
I'm
don't care
ex-
for it at all.
Yeah.
I'd
I
like-
think why do it on CGI when you can do it in front of the camera?
Yes.
Yeah, I agree.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And how do you, if given the
Yes,
opportunity, Marty,
Okay.
would you prefer to do real, or would you prefer to be on green screen in the vein of an Avatar, where you have full control of the?
a Sin City.
Sin City. Well, I grew up on the streets of Sin City, New York. Many sins were committed. And you don't make up for your sins in the church. You make up for your sins on the streets. As is the adage that begins Mean Streets, my classic film.
What?
Did you see that?
I did. I saw it. I saw him work some nonsense into a title of one of his films.
What is Mean Streets about?
Mean Streets tells a story about Charlie. He's
Pickering?
No, that's the project.
Oh, is it?
And then the weekly.
Did you direct the project?
I directed the pilot.
Really?
I directed the pilot.
the project.
I loved how.
I'm an EP.
I
I'm an
loved
EP.
how-
I love working for Irving.
Well, I just want to say, I loved how the pilot of the project told the news, but a little bit differently.
That's it. I take familiar stories or familiar genres and I apply, my little Scorsese-esque twist to them, if you will, my point of view.
And Chris, what do you say to that?
I say one thing I like about the project is there's no CGI. I also like that they're all wearing suits, which is something I do when I go to work.
Now, Chris, on the film, I have two questions for you. Oppenheimer absolutely swept the Oscars.
Yeah, I
the
did
Golden
that.
Globes.
Yes.
I did that explosion for real. No
Now,
CGI.
well, my two,
Well, there was some. There was some.
I have two questions for you, Chris.
Yeah, I made a little town.
Chris, I have two questions for you. Firstly, what were you wearing during the shoot?
I wore a suit the whole time.
Okay.
Yeah, I came in and everyone said he'll be wearing tracky dacks. No, I'm wearing a suit.
And then the second thing is, were you using much green screen special effects on
No,
this?
so what you're thinking of is something called computer-generated technology, and that's not something I like to use. I actually did explosions for real and built a little
What
town.
in terms of if you're wearing a suit on set, what's your favorite fabric?
I don't, it's more about, it's a suit.
Linen. It's linen.
Yeah, I know, but I wear a suit.
It usually wears a
Yeah, I
linen
wear a suit.
All right. Well, I was trying to set you up for something there.
Could I ask Chris,
But certainly not a CGI suit, then I'd be nude.
Yes, you would.
Well, you'd be covered in green.
Yeah, I'd be covered in green nudity. You understand that I don't like that. If you're watching a movie, you're seeing someone in a CGI suit, you're going, they're actually nude, that person. You understand? I don't like that. I don't like that. It makes me feel rotten.
I'm so certain of two things with you.
Yeah.
One, you don't like CGI, and the other, you wear a suit.
I love wearing a suit to work, yeah.
Tell me if I'm wrong. I don't think you've shot a plate in your life.
No, I don't even know what. There's plenty of plates in Oppenheimer.
No, I don't mean
actually.
actually. No, I don't mean when they're having lunch. I don't mean the plates. I mean, when you just shoot the frame for the background without the performers, and then
You see how
and
jacked
then you
he
put
is
things
in
on top
Batman.
of it.
You see how jacked.
Well,
he
they
is?
almost called him Fat Man. Is that right?
Well, because he had
'Cause
to
he-
get.
when
He
he
had to eat
came in-
lots of chicken. You think he ate that with? No, he had to have a plate to eat his chicken.
Yes.
he could either have a bag or a bucket.
Yeah,
Chicken in
that's
America, where I'm from, served in
That's
buckets
a great
many
point,
times.
Marty. That's a great point.
a great
I'd like to drill to is what way is Americans eating chicken?
Well, in my family, we eat chicken cacciatore style.
Oh, because you're Italian.
I'm Italian, and my mother, Catherine, was a wonderful cook.
Gosh, and she was in some of your movies. What was your favorite scene that you shot with your mum? And then I want to get to you, Chris, about what you wear on set. But first, I wanted to know about your favorite scene that you shot with your mum.
Well, I could say Casino, where she's got a fun little cameo. I could say where she plays my friend Joe's mother in Goodfellas. But my warmest memory of working with my dear old mum, Catherine, was one day we actually did an appearance together on the David Letterman program.
Really?
Yes, because she had written a cookbook called Italian American, sharing our family's recipes. And we did a little cooking segment together with Dave, and that's what I think back on when I think about my dear old mum.
Rest
Catherine.
in peace.
Yes.
Speaking of-
Unfortunately, she did die. Otherwise, she would be 400 years old.
Really?
She would be 400.
Talking about some of these heightened concepts, when we talk about legacy and the power of fathers and mothers and their role in us, that's something I felt quite heavily in your film Kundun.
Yeah, Kundun, it's actually pronounced.
Oh, I'm
Kundun.
so sorry.
Yeah, it's about the Dalai Lama. Tenzin Gyatso,
How
the
much
Dalai
CGI?
Lama.
How much CGI you have in that?
Well, we had this wonderful young actor that we found who would play the Dalai Lama young at the start of his life, and I was like, there's something about this fella.
Yeah.
This kid has got a spark, a twinkle in his eye that some of the great beloved movie stars have. And I said, you know what we're gonna do? We're gonna keep this kid the whole movie. We got to keep this kid the whole movie.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The child actor who plays the child Dalai Lama.
Yes.
That famous scene where he runs out into and sees a field of people
Yeah.
bowing or praying or.
Yeah. Something like that.
Well,
Is that the
there's-
direction you gave for
Yes.
that
I
shot?
say, guys, I need you to do one of two things: bow, pray, whatever you feel you're doing. I'm a collaborator. You know.
So with 1,000 actors. yeah.
1,000 actors. I'm like, I got my big old horn out. I got a big old horn. It's like a conical shape, and I'm holding out. Okay, gang, here's the directions. I want you to either pray or bow, whatever your heart feels in the moment when you see this young fella pop up. You're gonna be moved by it. So embrace that feeling. Embrace that feeling. And lo and behold, once I said action, I felt something. The emotion of those 1,000 or so people.
You can't beat that, can you? They do that with CGI now, you know.
They would do that.
Yeah,
crowd
okay.
Chris, just
CGI.
let it go.
No, but they would.
Yeah,
they'd
but-
get
yeah.
they get 4 or 5 people. They'd have them bow, and then they'd put the rest in with computers. You know.
Well, yeah, and you have used quite a lot of CG in your. Batman Begins, for
Yeah,
example.
you're probably fuck you.
What?
Wow.
Okay, all right. There's no need. I'm just saying that you use it as a tool, which I think is fine because
never used CGI in my entire
well,
life.
you have.
No, I've never used
You
it.
have the Ra's al Ghul's sort of
We
fortress.
built that for real.
You
Miniature.
didn't. There's
we
a
did.
lot of shots of Gotham that are full CGI.
I don't remember that.
The bats.
We
Full
got a bat. I
CGI
got a
in
real
Batman.
bat.
You probably got one
Yeah.
as a reference for the
Mark,
CGI.
just
I've
let it
never
go.
used
Well, I'm
CGI.
just I'm getting to something. I'm getting to something here because in Batman, especially in the first one, you use quite a lot of CGI.
Don't, yeah.
Batman wears a cape and a cowl. Now, the cape element in your film, something you're quite afraid of. Is that correct?
I don't. Well, it's interesting that you've brought us together today because I don't know what you're talking about. Why are you talking about freaking roller coasters
Cape
in my
Fear- Cape
presence?
Fear.
You're Cape Fear, yeah, I made it. But I'm talking about the power of cinema right
He doesn't
now.
like Marvel movies.
I know, but I was just trying to do
I don't
a,
like Marvel movies either.
Well, what is the distinction between what you're saying? You're
They let me do quite a bit. I said I don't want any CGI, and they were like, all right. I said I want to wear a suit
what's-
to work. You know, they make
there's
Taika
quite
wear.
a lot.
I'm going to hold you to that.
The whole train system, the whole train system.
Oh, were you there? Were you?
No, but I've watched
Wait,
the
did you
behind
rate
the
the
scenes.
movie?
I took a day
Mark?
off in year 12 to go and watch
Mark,
this.
this
that's
is
great, yeah.
Christopher Nolan. the
I'm
dir-
aware. And the
even-
cunt doesn't even know when he has or hasn't used CG in his
It doesn't
film.
matter.
Never-
This is Christopher Nolan telling you he didn't. So 2 things can happen. You can let it go, or he's going to fucking throw a punch.
Well, I don't want to get hit by Christopher Nolan, one of my favorite filmmakers growing up.
I couldn't even hit you that hard. I'm wearing a suit. You know, if I was wearing
You
like,
see how he used that character reel,
Yeah,
the
yeah,
corner of
yeah,
that
yeah,
character.
you know, if
yeah.
I was wearing a gym shirt, I could hit you hard. My shoulders would move good, but I can't because I'm wearing a big fluffy suit.
And he would hit you real.
You think he would hit me
Because he
real?
knows.
In the mean streets of London, it's not unlike New York. You know, I grew up in the mean streets of London.
Wow.
I spent some time in America, but most of the mean streets of London. And
you
think
come
I
from
use
money?
CGI there?
You from money?
Surely.
Well, not CGI money, that's for sure.
It's not that much. Have you seen Following?
Is crypto CGI money?
It's all computers and everything. You know, cameras now, they've got little computers inside them.
How do you feel about that?
I don't like that, no.
Martin,
Yes.
if you had to make a superhero film, and I know you're against them,
In some ways, Aviator is the story of a superhero.
Well, it is a man who can fly. It's a man who
Well-
can fly.
And the power to woo many a dame.
And that's one of the greatest powers a
Well, I
man
mean,
can
Tony
possess.
Stark, one of the greatest wooers of women, sleeps with many women and then is quite rude to them afterwards in the morning.
Yeah, but
Who's
loves
this now?
Pardon?
Sorry, who's who?
Tony Stark was played by.
Who that?
Really, you're
Who
that
dat?
disconnected from it?
Don't know who this is. Is he some sort of pop and rock star?
No, I guess he's a fictional character
Yeah.
in the Marvel comic books and cinematic universe.
I see you wince there.
Yeah, I just.
I think it's all right to talk about them, like they do exist.
Why do you
Yes,
wince?
but
Why do
they-
you wince?
Okay, this is the thing. the children today are having their minds turned to mush by these films. I'm using the word film, and I to hear it come out of my mouth in regards to these, it sickens me to my beautiful core. And I'm hearing
Your
this.
35 millimeter core.
My 35 mil core. Within me, I've got melted celluloid coursing through my veins, and it hardens up when I see these films.
Why?
Because I worry that these films are going into the cinemas, and I'm saying, hey, let me in. I got Killers of the Flower Moon. I'm trying to put my movie on a big screen too.
Yeah.
And
2 sessions a day.
and they're saying, oh, your movie's too long. Excuse me, Quantum Maniacs? That's like 7 hours long. That's a really long movie as well.
Ant-Man Quantumania.
Yeah, it is unfathomable to go to one side and go, oh yeah, this is valuable in here. What do you go? Oh, Bill Murray does a cameo in a fucking little Ghostbusters world. Oh, that's exciting for you to see. Oh wow, what's happening here? Michael Douglas has to sit in a freaking cockpit of an Ant-Man head. Oh wow, that's so valuable. And what am I doing? I'm telling real stories about real people.
And you know they
real
didn't
things
even
that
shrink
happen.
down for that.
They didn't shrink him down.
No, they didn't even shrink him
There
down.
was
for
one
that.
thing I loved. I will admit this, they got Michael Douglas in one of those scenes. They made him look real young again. And I thought that was interesting.
Oh, right, yeah, you like
That
that.
was interesting. I like that. I like that.
You touched on something about long films.
Yes.
Do you think a film can be under 4 hours?
Burden, that's very interesting that you say that. The way you say that is to insinuate that I am not a fan of making shorter films.
That's right. That's what I am asking, yes.
Okay,
Yeah, will
interesting.
you ever make like a 90-minute sort of easily digestible,
Enjoyable.
a movie that I'm like, yeah, I will go and see that.
Well, right now I'm kicking off production on a film that I've promised is 80 minutes long. And it's about one of my heroes, the great superheroes, if you will. If that's going to get you into the cinema. It's about Jesus Christ, a man that had many powers.
Really?
Yes.
You're really making...
another Jesus Christ
I'm making
movie?
it. I love that
Didn't
fella.
you already do one?
I made one, yes, of course, The Last Temptation of Christ with Willem Dafoe, or as you might know him, Green Gogglers.
I mean, like,
If that's the only way you can understand who I'm talking about.
I'm not saying
my
that the
friend
only
Willem.
movies I like are superhero movies with green goggles and, you know, any of the other
You know,
characters.
they don't even wear clothes in them anymore.
Well, they wear some. They
No,
wear
they
some
don't.
clothes. They
They
wear.
don't. In their time travel one, they went back in time nude, and then they put the clothes on them with
They're not
computers.
naked on set. They're wearing like a onesie.
They're completely nude, and they paint their willies green.
You seem to be obsessive and crazed about the CG.
Yeah, well, they used to go. They go back in time. If I did it, I'd go back in time for real. But they just paint their nude bodies green and put on fake costumes with computers. And I don't care for it.
You've gotten more Cockney as
That's
time
'cause
has
I've come
gone.
from-
I
I'm
think
like
you get
him.
quite when you
I'm
get.
like him.
I think when you get
Sweet.
passionate about your non-use and complete misunderstanding of CGI, you get back to that sort of that Cockney upbringing that you and your brother Jonathan had. Yeah.
He's he's got an American accent, that one.
Yeah, he didn't hold on to it quite as much.
I said to them, can we blow up a real bomb? And they said, all right. That's how I did it.
But little ones.
Little ones.
bombs.
Yeah, but I made a little tower.
I mean,
next
even
to it.
the special effects supervisor said to say that there's no special effects and say there's all practical effects in Oppenheimer would be a lie.
Well, there wasn't, though. And you calling me a liar?
No, because I know there's
Careful,
certain
Mark.
things. I'm not, because I know there's certain
Mark.
things like when Oppenheimer's in the bed and he's seeing
That's
the particles.
real.
I know that was you with a stick
Yeah, it was. I
going
did
like
that.
this.
But then also even all that beautiful lights and things.
Oh yeah, lots of practical effects, some CGI.
There was even one scene in the towards the end of the movie where he was sitting in an office, right? Where he's sitting in the office and they're quizzing him about
This is
stuff,
Oppenheimer.
right? And we had him nude because we hadn't decided what costume he was gonna wear, right?
Yeah, that's with Florence Pugh.
No, it was he was in and he was sitting in the office while they're quizzing him, and we didn't decide what he was going to wear, so we had him nude, and then they were like, "Now we got to decide what suit to put him on." I said, "No, he was nude on the day. He's going to stay nude there."
That's
Is
true.
that what? So that wasn't sort of a thing where he was feeling so vulnerable
They just rooted, I think.
that you sort of made that. No, he's not talking about the fuck scene. He's talking about the scene where he's being interviewed, and then there's a part where they bring up the affair, and he feels so vulnerable that he is then naked. But that's not
Because in that other scene with the two,
what he was doing.
They're both naked, I thought, because they just rooted.
She was meant to be wearing a bikini. And they wanted to put it in with CGI. I said, no, we didn't do it on the day.
Wow.
Martin.
I just wanted to ask Marty a very quick question.
Of course,
please, while we have you.
While you have a chance,
IMDb, you were familiar with IMDb?
Yes, of course, yes.
I believe last time you may have even said you are.
I am DB, that's true.
DB, yeah.
I am
That's quite
DB.
clever, that.
Yeah, thank you so much. It's one of my prouder moments.
According to your biography on this website,
Yes.
you have 4 productions upcoming.
Mhm.
2 TV, 1 an afternoon with SCTV.
Oh, yes, of course. That's you guys would be quite interested in your sketch performers, right?
Yeah.
That is your trade. That is
We
your
love it.
custom. So SCTV, it was a Canadian sketch show starring a buddy of mine, Rick Moranis, back in the day, and a sweet fella. I hope you got a sweet tooth because we got John Candy.
Okay, and then also you're directing a film about the President Roosevelt.
Oh, yeah, Rosie.
Is it going to be called Roosevelt?
No, it's going to be called Rosie.
Rosie.
Yeah, Rosie. Because that's his nickname.
Really?
And Americans call him Rosie.
And then Gangs of New York, the TV series.
Oh, yeah.
Will you direct the pilot?
I love directing pilots. I made the Aviator after all.
And then The Wager, A Tale of Shipwreck, Mutiny and Murder.
Yeah.
I don't know what the fuck that is.
Oh, some of these documentaries, I'm just attached. I don't really have to do much of them. I've got a co-director that does most of the work, and I just put my name on it.
Yeah.
Do a couple of interviews, pop up a little bit, maybe direct the Rolling Stones singing a couple of songs.
Yeah. Well, because you are, as in my understanding, the oldest man in the world.
Oh, I'm up there. I'm certainly up there.
How many?
TikTok.
How many more films do you think you have in you?
Well, I feel the sands escaping the top part of the hourglass every day. And all I can do is persevere and keep making movies. After all, it's my greatest joy in life is to sit on a fold-out chair with some wooden slats and a canvas in between them, holding my little Italian butt up as I watch what's happening on a sound stage and direct some of the greatest actors that Australia's ever embraced as movie stars from overseas.
Have you said? I'd love to get a little bit of an idea of what Marty thinks of the films of Christopher Nolan and what Christopher Nolan thinks of the films of Marty Scorsese.
Well, why don't we go through? Why don't you name some of his films and I'll go each one.
Sure.
I'll go Rotten or Fresh, is the one.
I love that. You love Rotten Tomatoes.
I love Rotten
you
Tomatoes.
go on. It tells you what all the critics have said, but it does it up as one number.
It tells you unequivocally whether the film is good or bad.
Yeah, it's combined. The critic scores combined, and if it passes the threshold of 60%, that would be considered fresh. But if you make something where the critics, if their scores combined, only add up to 59% or lower, unfortunately, you got a green Rotten Tomato on your hands.
I love it. It's like throwing Rotten Tomatoes at,
Do you hold the audience score or the critic score in higher esteem? I'm going to throw this one to Christopher first.
What was that there?
Do you what score do you hold on Rotten Tomatoes?
Sorry, I was just thinking about all that CGI in movies now. So I
like
didn't hear the
Batman
question.
Begins.
No, that didn't have any. I'll tell you what does though. You talking about all those Marvel movies? They got heaps of CGI in them.
Yeah, that is certainly true.
It looks like people floating around in CGI mush.
To be fair, you had less in subsequent films.
Yeah, I don't do it at all.
Broden,
Yes.
how are you?
I'm good. I'm just looking at your biography, Christopher.
Christopher Nolan.
The films you've done. So zeitgeist.
I'll
So
tell you what I wore.
definitive of it.
I'll tell you what I wore on the set of every movie.
What?
You tell me a movie. I'll tell you what I wore.
I'm going to guess suit. Like
Yeah,
just
that is what I'm going to say.
Prestige.
I wore a suit on that.
Batman Begins.
I wore a suit there.
Insomnia.
When I came to set of Insomnia, I wore a suit.
Dark Knight.
I wore a suit.
Inception.
On that one?
Yeah.
Yeah, I wore a suit, I think.
Marty,
Yes.
what are your
Mark.
thoughts on on Christopher Nolan's film Inception, starring one of your best friends,
Yeah.
Leonardo DiCaprio,
Oh
a muse
my gosh,
of yours.
my muse. I love him. What a hunk, huh?
Yeah,
I mean, he's a heartthrob.
He learns all his lines.
Oh gosh, it certainly
Most
does.
actors do.
No, usually have to CGI their mouths, and I refuse to do that.
He's a 1 in a million talent and a stud. And I'll tell you what, he is one of my secret weapons, I would say.
Yeah.
Can I ask you an ancillary off that?
Of course, ancillaries are my favorite style of question.
The film The Departed.
Oh gosh, yes.
A large amount of the characters pass away during the narrative of the film.
I actually say they get gutted like fish. They get murdered.
100%.
They get shot in the head and other parts of the body that relinquishes life from them.
My question is regarding that.
Yeah.
The film is called The Departed, and it occurred to me potentially why The Departed might have double meanings.
Yes.
Why is it called that?
Well, it's called The Departed because, you have seen through some of my, the gauze that hides a lot of the themes in my films. The themes can be quite deep to the passive viewer, someone who might have had their brain turned to mush by superhero Marvel pictures. They might not be able to detect the themes in there, even though they right there in the title. So that title does come from a couple of things. I would say one, there are characters that leave scenes every now and then, and they go, well, they depart. I write that in script. So I write that down. I go, Martin Sheen's character.
You don't write the
departs.
character's name?
Oh, no, I say his character. I write the name the first time, and I go, well, just to remember who's going to be on set on what day. And then I just start using the name of the actor from them forth in the script. So I go, he departs this scene. And then later on, I'll go, well, Martin Sheen's character, he departs for good when he slams into the ground from a tall building that he's tossed off the
Turns
top
into
of.
mush.
That scene on
turns
top of
into
the
mush.
roof. That scene on top of the roof. Was you really on top of the roof?
Oh, we were there. We were
'cause
on
they
top
wouldn't
of a
do
roof.
that now, yeah.
Oh, absolutely. And yes, I'll admit it was a roof in New York, and we put some Bostonian buildings in the background using, digital matte painting.
No.
Chris, let it go.
No.
Chris,
that's
let him-
it.
Chris,
Let him
let me
speak.
tell you this, it enhances it. Because if we
yuck.
were to use your filming techniques, you'll be like, okay, a lot of this movie is set in Boston, and we're hanging out on top of this building. We're shooting this in New York, by the way, right now. And you're going, wow, Boston, hang on a sec. Did they fly a copter? I can see the freaking Statue of Liberty in the background, that big old beautiful blue lady that welcomes the migrants in like my family to New York, and you'll be confused. But this is a Boston set movie. And there's another little thing in there, bro. And I don't know if you would have noticed. A lot of this movie is about people that are duplicitous. They're duplicitous with each other.
They act one way, but sometimes behave the antithesis of
different
the
way,
Yes, like a certain creature. A creature that is sniveling. A creature that is scurrying. A creature that is rodent-like. I'm talking the rat.
Well,
There is a rat in the movie. There's a rat in the movie.
There is a rat in the movie. There are several rats in the movie, in my opinion. Several rats in the movie. Several
so
rats.
not just the rodent rat.
There's a rat at the end.
Yeah.
There's a rat at the end.
Yes.
And
yes.
I would say if you look
Calm
at
down.
the words
Calm
The
down.
Departed a little closely,
Yeah.
you may notice there are some common letters.
D E P
Rat.
E D
Depart-
A R
A?
A T
R.
R
You had a few of them there.
T,
Just say it again
E.
slowly if you want.
D D E P D E P A R
So you go THE.
T.
That's the. All right.
T
Keep one of those letters
D.
in mind.
A
Right.
Yes?
A
Yes.
A.
Keep that in mind. That's one of the letters I'm talking about.
Because I'm thinking.
I think it's rat. I think it's
Well, I
rat.
was even thinking.
Oh,
rat. You've got enough letters
R-A-T,
for the
R-A-
rat.
The rat.
The rat. Yeah.
The rat.
That's so
You
fascinating.
know they'd CG that rat now if they made it now.
Can we put this video on YouTube and just say Martin Scorsese reveals new message in The Departed? I think it should be called that. I had a question for you. Similarly, I want to know a little
Who,
bit.
me?
Yes.
I'm Christopher Nolan.
You made a film called Inception, which is about dreams laid with other dreams,
Yeah, I
laid
did
with
that
other
with
dreams.
Suit.
But there's famously at the end a totem, which lets the character know if they're awake or asleep. And you famously hold on Leonardo DiCaprio's character's
It's a dream. Is that what you're asking?
Yeah, no.
Yeah, he's still in his
he's-
dream.
oh.
Yeah.
So it does fall over.
No, he's
Yeah.
still
Oh,
dreaming.
no, it stays up.
It
It
goes
stays up.
"Whoa,"
It
and then
stays
it stays up. Yeah.
Oh.
I always meant for it to be a dream, but then it didn't fall. Then it went to fall.
I was talking to Leo
Well,
about
of
this.
course it would have.
I wanted it to keep spinning, and they said, we can just keep it spinning with CG. And I said, no,
Right.
we'll just cut it when it goes wobbly.
I was
Right.
talking to Leo about this, and he did say it did fall eventually. So I guess that must be it's real.
No, but
You both worked with Leo.
Yeah.
I know Leo. And they would CG him now.
We might.
Yeah, you might.
We might
that.
do it one day.
Yeah.
We might, because I look at the young Leo. I miss that guy.
Oh, that little
Oh,
twink. That sexy little twink.
all those days back ago when
Gilbert
I'm working
Grape.
on Gangs of New York.
Basketball Diaries.
Basketball Diaries, they're all great movies. I've seen every single one of them. Gilbert Grape.
And on that note, that concludes our time with these two forces.
Titans
Titans
of
of
Hollywood.
I was just say it's lovely to see you again.
Yeah,
Marty.
great to see you. We've been on the award circuit together,
Yeah,
right?
I'm going to be talking to you about Killers of the Flower Moon at the Directors Guild screening next week. So I'll
Wonderful.
see you there again.
I'll be there.
And
Did
great
you like?
job with that film.
Just
by the
quickly,
way.
yeah. Did you like Killers of the Flower Moon, Christopher
Well,
Nolan?
I'm pretty sure there was hardly any CG in it. Is that
Okay.
right? Were you
Very little.
Yeah, you
Very,
built,
very
built
little.
that town for real, and you
Very,
got
very little.
real actors and everything.
Lots of real actors.
Have you seen that one with the one with the Ben Affleck in it? Have you seen that one with Ben Affleck in it? And
Air?
No, it's like Gaia. There's a thing in the middle of the world, and it goes all funny. And there's New York, and it's Final Fantasy: Spirits Within. You seen that one?
Ben Affleck's in that.
Yeah. You seen
No,
that
I haven't
one?
seen it.
That's
Why?
the complete CG film.
Yeah, didn't like that one.
No, it doesn't surprise me.
Just a little-
So do you not like animated films at all? Because they're all. I would say maybe if you are IMBD, maybe you're CG. I am not.
No, I'm not a fan of CGI, and I wear a suit to work.
Chris, just a note, if you're doing something like this again next week, I reckon just expand out to more information about yourself and your creative
I
process.
think there's a lot there that you
Because
can dig
I'm not
into.
mad, but this has been a bit hard with you only saying two character traits.
I said lots of things. I said my opinions on different films. I said what I wore on every single film I was in.
But that tended
Yeah.
to be the same
Yeah,
sort
yeah.
of dead end.
It's sort
where
of, yeah.
Suit, no CG.
Yeah, those are
Marty
two
talked
things,
about
yeah.
heaps of stuff.
Yeah, I love
Several
Marty.
different films, several different actors.
Oh, he's a personality as
mother-
much as he's a director. You know, he's a film
Very true, you
archivist.
do.
He's an actor.
Yeah.
He's
Yeah.
a, you know, all I do is I make my little movies, no CG.
They make about $1 billion.
Yeah, but it's a little movie.
What do you
know?
wear when you shoot them?
What I wear? Oh, I wear. See, I think what you're trying to set up there, because we're towards the end of the podcast, you want me to say, "Oh, just wear a t-shirt and shorts." Nope.
No, because it's
That
like
was
you're
not my
going to
intention
work.
at
No,
all.
I'm not
I
giving
would-
you that
I
punchline.
would
No,
never.
sir. I'll wear
Versace
a
jeans.
suit.
You wear a
Versace
suit.
jeans?
I wear Versace jeans, yeah.
that's
and
so
I've got
cool.
big old glasses and my eyebrows just popping out the top of them.
Yes,
That's
they
it.
are.
I remember when you played that little CG fish.
Oh, yes, of course. That's my finest role in the movie Shark Tale, working with some of my dear friends, Robert De Niro.
Well, what did you think of Hugo?
You know, I didn't. Oh, Hugo, yeah, that's good. But you see him play that little CG fish. That was fun.
So you did like that?
You know, I didn't know it was CG at first. I thought he was really playing a fish.
That's the power of cinema.
Yeah.
You know, when you're in the seat, you can be swept up to another world.
What's
Yeah,
your thoughts on Milo and Otis?
Me on that one. That was good. They got a real cat and a
Yeah,
real dog.
yeah.
Yeah, I didn't like that. But I didn't mind him as a CG fish. So there you go. You got me on that one. I didn't mind him as a CG fish.
Martin, just before we leave, what were your thoughts on Christopher's latest film offering to the world, Oppenheimer?
Chris, I'll be honest, I think it's a wonderful picture. It's a wonderful
thank
picture what you
you,
were able
yeah.
to do there. I think there's one, if I could do one thing, if, you know, I were to
Yeah, no
direct
worries.
this, because I know in the past we've had our grievances. After all, when I was making The Aviator, you said you had wanted to make a same kind of movie about Howard.
Yeah, I
with
would have done
Jim
it with
Carrey.
real airplanes.
Well, we did the airplanes too.
Oh, nice. Yeah, good
But
job.
they weren't flying in this air. We had them on a set and we just filmed inside them.
I think his criticism of your film, I just need you to brace yourself for.
Yeah.
I'm just marking.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, no,
I
go
would
for
say
it.
there's one thing, you know.
Yeah.
Yes, this Killian fella, wonderful actor. But I would say this, you've worked with some of your favorites, some of your dearest friends. Michael Caine.
Oh, I love Michael Caine. Yeah.
Why not put Michael Caine in the lead role?
Oh, he's too old, isn't he?
Yeah, here we go. Here we go.
Oh, I see what you've done there.
You catch my drift, huh?
You're quite clever there because he was too old for me, but maybe not, eh?
I'm saying that there is a way to cast your best mates, your favorite actors, for the whole movie.
Wouldn't you have to get body doubles when they kick people in gutters and stuff?
No, that's the beauty of it. You don't have to. You don't have to.
Yeah, yeah.
You don't have to.
You don't have to do
No,
that.
a lot of people were saying, like, even to get scenes of Jimmy Hoffa, who never even reached any of the age that Al Pacino has been during the version of this movie that I've made. Even sometimes he's getting out of a chair and he goes, oh, he's looking a bit geriatric. Go, Al, do it a couple more times. Get younger each time, Al, and we'll get there. We'll get there.
Yeah,
Just
wow.
to close this out, your thoughts on Al Pacino's coffee ad?
Oh, gosh. You know, it was so interesting. When I gave Al Pacino, who I know you've worked with Insomnia as well.
Yeah, he couldn't sleep in that one.
Well, you know, I have a theory as to why he couldn't sleep.
Loves coffee.
He absolutely loves caffeine and coffee. And it was so interesting. I remember there was a day on set when I was on set of The Irishman. I'm like, there's a loose script on the table here. Someone has left their script here. And I'm thinking, it doesn't have a name on it. Whose script could it be? And I'm going through the pages. And I'm noticing a thing on every few pages. There's coffee stains on it. I said, you know a Pacino script. A Pacino script has coffee stains on it.
Is that why you call him Cappuccino?
That's why I call him Cappuccino and his best friend Cuppa Joe. Joe Pesci on there.
Have you seen that ad? It's so funny. You know a Pacino script because it's got the coffee stains on
Coffee
it.
stains on it. Yeah.
What do you think of that ad?
Oh, I've not seen it, but I will tell you, Insomnia was originally about a man that got a good night's rest at the end of every night, and then he solved the crime real quick.
Well, it is a remake of an older film.
Yeah, but that one was about insomnia. This one was going to be, what if that man got a good night's rest every night?
But then
Just
you
goes-
cast the wrong
then just-
guy for
you
I
that.
cast the wrong
for
guy,
that.
and he looked so tired. I said, we have to rethink
Caffeine
this.
freak.
So
He
we
does
just
look tired.
CG'd in some
Sick.
daytime. And
Well,
it's great.
where can the people see your movies?
Oh, for me, tragically, you can watch mine on Apple Movies.
Uh-oh.
Apple Movies. We had a limited run in the cinema, but now it's available on Apple.
Great.
I would say get mine on the Blu-ray, because I got to pick all the colours and stuff.
What's the one you
picked every colour in that film?
I got to pick the colours. They don't let me pick the colours for the Netflix.
What's that fucked nerd company you guys love with the DVDs and then people go in the little room and look at them?
Oh, we both have movies in the Criterion Collection.
Yeah.
Of course, you
That's-
have got The Following is in there.
Yeah.
Following is in there. I've got The Last Temptation of Christ is in there. The Irishman has a lovely disc presentation in there. After Hours just released, and a few of my short films as well. And I've collaborated with them on the Martin Scorsese World Cinema Project, where I release volumes of films that have been hard to find, but I've painstakingly restored with my hand.
Well,
Movies such as
all right.
Trances, Tuki Buki are in there.
You can find out more about the Criterion Collection at criterion.com. Head there. There is currently...
Tuki Bookie?
Tuki Buki, it's a Senegalese film.
Should we maybe mention Alexei Toliopoulos' new podcast?
Oh,
Yes,
yeah.
Alexei, our friend.
He got us. Well, he's our friend too. He's a mutual friend of all of us.
Well, that
sense.
guy's a friend of cinemas.
Yeah,
He's a friend of us all in
he
the
got
industry.
he got me on here, and
Oh,
he got you
yeah.
on here as well.
Yeah,
What-
yeah.
What
he
is
links
he
it
up?
up.
He's doing a new podcast.
Oh, yeah, it's a new podcast. Allow me to just lift the veil for a second. Guys, it's me, Alexei Toliopoulos.
Right.
Wow,
I knew, we knew
wow.
that.
Yeah, I've
wonderful.
reprised my role. And it was really hard to stay in character because I am a big fan of Christopher Nolan. I am quite starstruck to be in his presence.
Yeah, no worries about that at all.
You know,
Is there, Lindsay, is there cinema music under the Alexei reveals pulls the veil off?
I can find. I don't know how well this will suit the vibe.
Well, just chuck it in because what I'll say right
You're still
now,
Nolan.
Yeah, because I am Nolan.
yeah,
There's
great filmmaker.
What I got to say right now, third detail about me, what's happening right now is a twist, eh?
It was me
Wow.
the whole time.
I
It
love
was
a
me.
twist.
This is very appropriate.
This is like when the politician was nasty at the end of
Wow.
Oppenheimer.
This is like a little bit of Fellini-esque music, you know? Nino Rota is
Yeah.
playing in those keys, fiddling away at that little harp or whatever that twinkling sound is. I'm not a music guy, I love movies.
You flew from Sydney here, got in a vehicle,
Yes.
you came
Uber.
straight here.
Absolutely. I came straight here. I was like, I want to hang out with my buddies. I'm going to get to meet Chris.
Yeah.
Which is me. I'm Christopher Nolan.
What's your new show?
I've got a new show. It is called The Last Video Store. And what it is a podcast about the films that we love. Guests will come on and they'll tell me about a few movies that they love, a new release, and a few older films, and it's presented to you in the style of a rental combo like you would get back in the day at a video store.
7 for 7.
And then what will happen
7
from there?
weeklies for $7.
I will give you a bespoke, personalized. Now I can hear again. And then the music is stopped playing. Now, no.
Music's back.
The music's back. But then I will give a bespoke, customized recommendation based on the guest taste, based on the guest
that's wonderful.
picks. So we got Cameron James. Would you believe it's going to be
Wow,
on?
he's a friend of yours.
We
Long
got
time
Luke
collaborator.
Bracey, Hollywood hunk from Hacksaw Ridge and many other
incredible.
movies. And Polly Bennett, who is the choreographer for Saltburn, Elvis, and Bohemian Rhapsody.
Wow.
And maybe even a Zachary Ruane.
Oh.
And Chris, you would love that fella.
If he wears a suit to work, he's all right by me.
Alexei, our audience love you, and we're very. I'm sure they're going to be rapt at your back.
It's a pleasure to be back.
As you adjust the headphones
Yes.
on your ear. That's
Pleasure to be back.
We'll see you next week. Goodbye.
See you next week.
You're listening